This is SkyTour News for October 22nd to the 28th. I'm Amanda Curran. October 26, 1966. Intelsat 2, the first Pacific communication satellite, is launched. Intelsat 2 was a series of 4 communication satellites operated by Intelsat, which were launched in 1966 and 1967, the first of which was launched October 26, 1966. Intelsat 2 spacecraft were based on the HS-3030A satellite bus, which was cylindrical in shape and spin-stabilized. The Intelsat 2 spacecraft were designed to be operated in a geostationary orbit, however the first satellite's apogee motor malfunctioned, leaving it in a lower-than-planned orbit. It was able to perform a limited communications mission, however the other 3 spacecraft successfully achieved geostationary orbit. Each satellite carried 2 transponders, powered by solar cells mounted on the body of the spacecraft, which generated 85 watts of power. Intelsat 2 F1 provided a trans-Pacific communications link for 240 telephone channels and 2 television channels. Provisions were made for 180 hours of telecasting per year, an average of 30 minutes per day, via the satellite. A 50-minute program was relayed between Tokyo and Washington, D.C. via Intelsat 2 F1 on January 27, 1967. It was the first newscast and the first color program to be telecast across the Pacific. Japan's Fuji Television used the satellite to present direct telecasts of the World Featherweight Boxing title match between Vincent Saldivar and Mitsunari Seki from Mexico City 2 days later, making it the first live transmission of a sport event across the Pacific. Stars and Stripes reported that the picture was clear. October 22, 1977. International Sun-Earth Explorers 1 and 2 launched into Earth orbit. The International Sun-Earth Explorer 1, or the IC-1, was a 340-kilogram space probe used to study magnetic fields near Earth. IC-1 was a spin-stabilized spacecraft and based on the design of the prior Interplanetary Monitoring Platform series of spacecraft. IC-1 and IC-2 were launched on October 22, 1977, and they re-entered on September 26, 1987. The space probe was part of a program consisting of 3 spacecraft, a mother-daughter pair, IC-1 and IC-2, and the IC-3 spacecraft, later renamed to the International Cometary Explorer. The program was a cooperative mission between NASA and ESRO, later ESA, designed to study the interaction between Earth's magnetic field and the solar wind. At least 32 institutions were involved, and the focus was on understanding magnetic fields. IC-1 and IC-3 were built by NASA, while IC-2 was built by the ESA. All 3 had complementary instruments supported by the same group of over 100 scientists. IC-1 and IC-2 remained near the Earth, whereas IC-3 was the first spacecraft to be placed in a halo orbit at the Earth-Sun Lagrange point L1, and it was later launched into a heliocentric orbit. October 24, 2007. The Chinese National Space Administration launches its first space probe to the Moon. Chang'e-1 was an unmanned Chinese lunar orbiting spacecraft and part of the first phase of the Chinese lunar exploration program. The spacecraft was named after the Chinese moon goddess Chang. Launched on October 24, 2007, the first picture of the moon was relayed on November 26, 2007, and on November 12, 2008, a map of the entire lunar surface was released, produced from data collected by Chang'e-1 between November of 2007 and July of 2008. After liftoff, Chang'e-1 made 3 orbits around the Earth, a burn at pedigree extending the Earth's apogee further each time, until a final translunar injection burn placed it on a course for the Moon on October 31, 2007. Lunar orbit insertion was achieved on November 5, 2007. To mark the occasion, the probe transmitted 30 classical Chinese songs and musical pieces, including My Motherland, the Song of Yangtze River, and High Mountains and Flowing Water. The mission was scheduled to continue for a year, but was later extended, and the spacecraft operated until March 1, 2009, when it was taken out of orbit. Data gathered by the Chang'e-1 was able to create the most accurate and highest resolution 3D map ever created of the lunar surface. Chang'e-1 is the first lunar probe to conduct passive, multi-channel, microwave remote sensing of the moon by using a microwave radiator. On March 1, 2009, Chang'e-1 crashed onto the surface of the moon, ending its mission. According to the State Administrator of Science, Technology, and Industry for National Defense, China, this was planned and a controlled impact. During its orbital mission, the probe transmitted 175 gigabytes of data. This is SkyTour News. I'm Amanda Curran.